Yeah. In that space of time between 38 and the time to which Rumsfeld alludes, the percentages of unemployed were quickly put to work working for the merchants of death. And capitalism has been addicted to arms like an addict needs his fix in an ever-increasing doses. That's the fundamental feature of late capitalism, its waste production. What is it now? $10 trillion, those are the official numbers, in the space of 40 years. Well, that's more than the value of everything produced in the society combined. Schools, sewage systems, roads, hospitals, housing, taken together. They are cannibalizing the infrastructure of this society. And they cannot sustain this decaying system, which is literally in terminal decay, without preemptive, continuous, and permanent war. But how do you go to a public and sell this to them? You have to create an entire ideological screen in order to impose this on a population, particularly when the consequence of it is an all-out assault upon the living standards of people and all of the gains of the past century that people have obtained through struggle. The 8-hour day, pensions, health care, affordable housing, secure work. Largest form of employment in the United States now is part-time employment. And permanent or secure work, forget it. Everybody is a paycheck away from losing their homes, their mortgages. This is intensifying. Today, 1 out of 4 people live in poverty in this advanced industrial country. There's a greater infant mortality rate in Harlem than in Bangladesh. That's the engine driving this decaying capitalist order to permanent war. We are underestimating the intelligence, the anger, the capacity for struggle of the mass of our people. Every time they wage one of these wars of predation, what happens? They lose their working class army. These poverty armies, largely black and Latino and working class youngsters who sent off to be cannon fodder in these wars, every time they do that, the imperialists, the capitalists do that, they radicalize a whole generation. What does it mean when they lose their army in Vietnam? Look at the Gulf Site War Veterans website. When you have 200,000 Gulf War veterans suffering from neurological disorders that are attributable not just to depleted uranium, but these imposed vaccinations of this whole pharmaceutical complex that's bound up with the military complex and is spoken for by the Carlyle group of $14 billion of the Bush family and their Democratic acolytes. Think people don't register that? Go look even at the website of the Iraqi war veterans. These are working class people, military families. People are profoundly alienated by all of this. That's why you go out and talk to people and you find that now 75% reject the war in Iraq, don't buy into the patriotic gore. That is not because people are acquiescent. It's the contrary. Lenny, honestly, the goodies of which you speak, what era are you living in? Really, I mean, the mass of our population is under siege. The value of what we earn is a fraction of what it was in 1973. You need 2 and 3 salaries to bring home the real value that people could earn, one person working in 1973. You think people don't feel that in their own lived experience? What do they define as poverty in the United States? $7,000 a year? In some institutional expressions through the Department of Commerce, they'll give you $14,000 a year for a family of 4 as poverty level. Hey, you know anybody who can survive on that?
Who is going to come forward? Where are they going to come from to essentially unify people into this class struggle you speak of?
We have the ability to reach out to our own population. With the Million Worker March, we engaged rank and file workers. We had the National Educational Association, the Teamsters National Black Caucus, the postal workers, the transport workers, the railroad workers, AFSCME, unions representing millions of people, rank and file workers, rank and file locals that represented tens of thousands of workers in each of their respective locals, engaged in mobilizing, as we called it, in our own name, demanding that we have access to the wherewithal in this society to eliminate poverty, free housing, free health care, these elementary social demands, and an end to these imperial wars. Those were the demands amongst many that show the ability, the wherewithal amongst working people to fight back. So the 9/11 movement has a responsibility, in my judgment, to hook up with the mass of our people and to relate the treason at the top that 9/11 represents to the social and economic and political policies that underlie it. So we can wipe out this whole cabal, because look, what's the basic truth? We cannot change this ruling class, or influence them, or reform them, or contain them. We have to overthrow them.
Ralph Schoenman, thank you for joining us on INN.
Thank you, Lenny.
I'm sure our viewers are going to enjoy this.
Thanks so much.